something smells good over here. That smells good. Oh, that's what that is. Okay. Those that are coming in love and light, high vibes. It's hot. Let's see. Sorry about that. The phrase dogma is used to refer to extreme rigidity, rigid rules and regulations that could be borderline abusive, okay, and intrusive. Now, here's why, at least from my esteem and what I'm gathering about dogma, why it's a big deal and a problem. Everything is always evolving, isn't it? There was times in history where there was a set of rules and regulations and absolutes that seemed to fit, but they had to change over time, and now we've adapted others, right? This doesn't stop, but each generation have a tendency to believe, each dispensation, each generation has a tendency to believe, just like the previous ones, right? That it is absolute as they have understood it, as they have experienced it, period, point blank. And then we evolve, and over time we find, eureka, we're wrong. The earth is not flat, it's actually round. The problem with dogma, it creates limitations. It restricts a person from being able to possibly experience, in some cases, some beautiful things, okay? For an example, even as it comes to the world of energy, the dogma in that respect, we're not just talking about religion per se, we're just talking about dogmatic attitude, a dogmatic view, a dogmatic mind based on one's own experience, perceptions, and frameworks, which we are evolving constantly. Generations and hundreds of years ago before us, there were absolutes there. We read it in history books. We read it in various different texts, and we see how things have changed and transformed over time because the times have changed, the consciousness have changed, the things that has been manifested into the 3D has changed from once upon a time so long ago, right?
I'm just enjoying your conversation.
Oh, you're
look for people like that in the store.
Oh yeah, no worries. I'm glad.
Telling people about the word.
I'm glad you're enjoying it. Thank you. No. See that's that right there too. I love that. Me being myself, as odd of a duck as I am, always ends up attracting people that appreciates it, right? Some people look at you to the left, and then some people be like, yeah. But we're always changing, collective. Humans, our experience. This is why it serves us to loosen a little bit. The masters of old that many of us admire, right? We admire the forerunners, absolutely, because they served. It was a template. It was, the consciousness at that time. They were above their time too, right? If we look back, it's like they were ahead of the game. They were ahead of their time. So, in other words, the people in their dispensation and generation thought that they were off too. They thought that they were not, making sense. They thought that they were tripping. And so we need to understand that that applies to us as well. The masters in our dispensation, We're going to be looked at the same way as the ones prior. Things, they were above the time, and we could be above the time. And so what served at that time may not be serving to the same extent, which is that conscious expansion. Reiki masters, whatever you want to call it, all of that stuff came from somewhere. And don't get me wrong, I am not disqualifying rules, regulations, things that help us to have like a sense of a foundation. But that dogma is what's getting us in trouble. Okay? The masters that we admire and look up to, once upon a time, all the stuff that we're using, it wasn't there. It was created by the forerunners. But before those things, the energy was in operation. People was accessing it, those that were on ascended paths. So we get stuck. Like, it's got to be this way. It's got to look that way. You have to. No, we don't. No, something serves as a good template. But expand your mind, expand your heart, understanding that once upon a time, shit wasn't as it is as you know it. And it evolved and it changed. And you always have a group of folks bucking the transformation. You're going to always have a group of humans pushing against it because they're comfortable. It happens. The breakthroughs. How do you guys think all the stuff that we have in this physical reality, these people were looked at as nuts and challenged. People who made airplanes, cars, all these various different things that we get to the delight of experiencing. Do y'all think it was easy, breezy, beautiful, cover girl? Do y'all think it was smooth sailing? Do y'all think everybody just smiled at them and shook their hand and said, yeah, yay, way to go? From the beginning? Oh, you're good, dear. No. They were looked at. They were told they were nuts, though. They were told that they were a quack job. They were told that, it was far-fetched. They were told that it didn't make sense. They were told that things have to be done a certain way. And that's the way it is. And if all these various people would have stuck to those people's advice, we wouldn't be experiencing the joys of some of the stuff we're experiencing. But I'm going to invite you all to take this as far as your belief system, your spirituality, and your religion. We're evolving, and we should be, and we shouldn't be scared of that. Okay? Those of us that took the religious path, we can recall that the dispensations and generations that were way back in the day before us, they could not wear makeup and the color red and red lipstick and red toe polish and anything like that, because they were told that that's for harlots and streetwalkers. They were told that they were operating in a nasty spirit to, no wholesome woman shouldn't be wearing, red lipstick and so forth. And that's really what they believed. And down to their heart, they believed that was true. They believed it was right. But they were sorely wrong, wasn't they? Because though they made all of the women stop wearing the red lipstick and the red nail polish and all of those things, they didn't stop hold them. Okay, because if you're not going to stop that if that's what's happening by telling them to wear a different attire. But that's what they believed in the sincerity of their heart. And then later, once our dispensations came in, those of us that went down that path, then now they had expanded, realizing, we were wrong, because that has absolutely nothing to do with virtue. A woman can wear, red lipstick and red toe polish, and don't mean she's a hoe. So what makes us think that it stops there? I've said this before years ago. If we open our minds enough to realize, okay, if we were wrong about that, we can be wrong about some more stuff, can't we? And it don't mean we're bad. It doesn't mean that we've really fucked up. It means that it serves us to open up a little bit, understanding that we can be wrong. Okay? The problem with dogma is it puts too many absolutes and restrictions on people, and it limits understanding